He was hired to serve champagne and disappear. Instead, Dominic Rossi, the man who controlled half the city from the shadows, pulled her onto his lap in front of 300 witnesses, silenced the room with a single glance, and whispered into her ear, "Stay exactly where you are." Mara Chun had perfected the art of being furniture. Catering staff weren't supposed to have faces, voices, or opinions. They were ghosts in black vests, refilling glasses and clearing plates while billionaires and criminals negotiated empires over dessert. But when a drunk hedge fund manager grabbed her wrist hard enough to bruise, Dominic didn't just notice. He moved. What happened next shattered every unspoken rule in the room, and signed Mara's name in blood across the most dangerous guest list in New York. Drop, run, or stay in the comments. Let's see what you do. This is how a nobody became somebody the mob couldn't ignore. The Whitmore estate wasn't just a venue. It was a battlefield dressed in silk and marble. Crystal chandeliers dripped light across polished floors. A string quartet played Vivaldi near the terrace doors. Women dripped in diamonds. Men wore power like cologne. Beneath the champagne and small talk, every conversation was a transaction. Every handshake hid a knife. Mara moved through the crowd like water, silent, efficient, invisible. She balanced a silver tray of flutes, her posture perfect, her expression blank. She'd worked 50 events like this. The rule was simple: blend in, stay quiet, collect the paycheck. She was good at disappearing. A plus-size Asian woman in a sea of skeletal socialites and tailored mobsters. She'd learned early that taking up space invited cruelty. So she didn't. She shrank. She smiled. She survived. But tonight, someone refused to let her fade. Dominic Rossi sat at the center table like a king holding court. He was 42, broad-shouldered, and terrifyingly still. His charcoal suit was custom Milan. His dark hair was brushed back, graying elegantly at the temples. He didn't smile. He didn't need to. Men twice his age leaned in when he spoke. Women watched him from across the room, hungry and careful. He was the head of the Rossi family. Real estate, shipping, construction, all legitimate on paper, all soaked in blood beneath the surface. Mara had been warned before the shift started. Don't make eye contact with Rossi. Don't linger near his table. Don't exist unless he needs something. She obeyed. She always obeyed. Until Marcus Hale decided she was fair game. Hale was a hedge fund vulture. Mid-50s. Flushed cheeks. Sweating through his tuxedo. He'd been drinking since cocktail hour, getting louder, getting handsy. Mara had already dodged him twice. Once near the bar, once near the balcony. The third time, he cornered her near the service hallway. "Hey, you." His voice slurred, thick with bourbon and entitlement. "Get me another scotch, top shelf, and smile this time. You're killing the vibe." Mara kept her eyes down. "Of course, sir." Right away. She turned to leave. His hand clamped around her wrist. Hard. Tight enough that her bones ground together. "I said smile." Her pulse spiked. Pain shot up her arm. She didn't pull away. Pulling away made it worse. She'd learned that working these events. Let them feel powerful. Let them win. Walk away intact. "I'm smiling, sir," she whispered. "No."
Hale lanet closer.
His breath reeked. "You're looking at me like I'm dirt. You think you're better than me? You're the help, sweetheart. Act like it." Her throat tightened. Rage burned beneath her ribs, but she swallowed it. She always swallowed it. Then a voice cut through the noise. Low, calm, laced with something that made Hale's hand go slack. "Let her go." Mara's head snapped up. Dominic Rossi stood 3 feet away. He wasn't yelling. He didn't need to. The air itself had changed, heavy, cold, dangerous.
Hale blinket.
His face went pale. "Mr. Rossi, I was just... You were just leaving." Dominic's dark eyes didn't blink. "Weren't you?" Hale released Mara's wrist like it burned him. He stumbled backward, mumbling apologies, and disappeared into the crowd. Mara stood frozen. Her wrist throbbed. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Dominic stepped closer. His gaze dropped to her wrist. A deep red mark already bloomed across her skin. Fingerprints stamped into her flesh. His jaw tightened. The muscle beneath his ear twitched. "What's your name?" His voice was quiet. Too quiet. "Mara." Her own voice sounded far away. "Marachin. Mara." He repeated it like he was memorizing it. "Come with me." It wasn't a request. He didn't touch her. He didn't need to. The crowd parted as Dominic walked back toward the center of the ballroom. Mara followed, her pulse roaring in her ears. Every eye in the room tracked them. Conversations died mid-sentence. The string quartet faltered. Dominic sat back down at his table. Then he looked at Mara, gestured to his lap, and said, "Sit." The room inhaled as one. Mara's brain short-circuited. I'm working, Mr. Rossi. I should. See. His tone didn't rise. It didn't harden. It simply allowed no other option. Her legs moved before her mind caught up. She lowered herself onto his lap, stiff and trembling. His arm wrapped around her waist, firm, possessive, anchoring her in place. The silence was deafening. 300 people. Not one of them moved. Dominic leaned in. His lips brushed her ear. His voice was a dark, velvet murmur meant only for her. Stay exactly where you are. Her breath hitched. Heat flooded her face. His hand rested on her hip, not groping, not wandering. Claiming. He turned his head slightly, addressing the room without releasing her. "If anyone here has a problem with how I treat what's mine," Dominic said, his voice carrying effortlessly across the marble and crystal, "you're welcome to discuss it." Now, no one spoke. No one moved. He waited. 5 seconds. 10. Then he lifted his glass of whiskey, took a slow sip, and went back to his conversation with the man beside him, as if pulling a curvy caterer onto his lap in front of New York's elite was the most natural thing in the world. Mara sat paralyzed. Her mind screamed. Her body burned. She could feel every eye on her. Shocked, envious, confused, furious. But Dominic's arm never loosened. His thumb traced a slow, absent circle against her hip. Protective, possessive, deliberate. She had no idea what game he was playing. But she knew one thing with absolute certainty. Her invisible life had just ended. 20 minutes later, Dominic stood. His hand slid to the small of her back. "We're leaving." Mara's voice cracked. "I can't. I'm working. My supervisor is paid generously. You're done for the night." He guided her toward the exit. The crowd melted away. No one dared block his path. Outside, a black Bentley idled at the curb. The driver opened the door without a word. Dominic gestured for Mara to get in. She hesitated. Every survival instinct screamed at her to run. But his dark eyes held hers. And in them, she didn't see cruelty. She saw control. She saw certainty. She saw a man who had made a decision and would not be questioned. "Get in, Mara." She got in. The door closed. The Bentley pulled away from the estate, gliding smoothly into the night. Dominic sat beside her, close but not touching. The interior smelled like leather, cedarwood, and danger. "Why did you do that?" Mara finally whispered. "Why did you?" "Because Marcus Hale put his hands on you." Dominic's voice was calm, absolute. "And no one touches what's mine." "I'm not," she stopped. Her throat tightened. "I'm not yours. I don't even know you." He turned his head. His gaze pinned her to the seat. "You are now." The Bentley didn't stop at a hotel. It didn't stop at a restaurant. It rolled through the gates of a private estate in Westchester. 20 acres of manicured gardens, iron gates, and stone walls that whispered old money and older violence. The car stopped in front of a sprawling mansion. Warm light glowed through tall windows. Guards in dark suits stood near the entrance, their faces blank, their eyes sharp. Dominic stepped out. He offered Mara his hand. She stared at it. "I should go home," she said quietly. This is insane. You don't know me. I don't know you. I serve drinks for a living."
I'm nobody.
"You're wrong." Dominic's hand didn't waver. "You're somebody Marcus Hale thought he could hurt. You're somebody I've been watching all night." Her breath caught. "Watching me?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because you move through rooms like you're apologizing for existing." His voice softened, just slightly. "And I wanted to know why a woman that beautiful thought she needed to disappear." Mara's heart slammed against her ribs. No one had ever called her beautiful. Not like that. Not like it was fact. She took his hand. Inside, the mansion was warmth and wealth. Dark wood, leather furniture. A fire crackled in a stone fireplace. Bookshelves lined the walls. Smelled like scotch, old paper, and power. A woman in her 60s appeared, silver hair, sharp eyes, kind smile. "Mara, this is Elena," Dominic said. "She manages the house." "Elena, this is Mara Chun. She'll be staying tonight." "Of course." Elena's smile widened. "Welcome, dear. Let me show you to a room." Mara looked at Dominic, panic rising. "I didn't agree to stay." "You didn't disagree." He stepped closer, not trapping her, just present, solid, unmovable. It's late. You've had a long night. Stay, eat, rest. In the morning, if you want to leave, I'll have you driven anywhere you want to go. And if I want to leave now, then I'll have you driven now. His eyes held hers. But I'd prefer you stay. Why? Because tomorrow Marcus Hale is going to realize what I did tonight. And when he does, he's going to be angry. Stupid men do dangerous things when they're angry. Dominic's voice dropped. I'd rather you be somewhere I know you're safe. Mara swallowed hard. You think he'd come after me? I think he's a coward. Cowards lash out at easy targets. Dominic's jaw tightened. You're not an easy target anymore. But he doesn't know that yet. Her hands trembled. She curled them into fists. One night, she whispered. One night, Dominic agreed. Elena led her upstairs. The guest room was larger than Mara's entire apartment. A king-size bed, private bathroom, soft robes, a view of the gardens lit by moonlight. Elena laid out clothes, a silk pajama set, still tagged. Mr. Rossi had these brought in. If they don't fit, I'll find something else. Mara stared. He bought these? Tonight? He made a call from the car. Elena's smile was knowing. He's very efficient when he wants something. After Elena left, Mara stood in the center of the room, her mind spinning. This was insane. She should call a cab. She should leave. She should. A soft knock. She opened the door. Dominic stood in the hallway holding a first aid kit. Your wrist. She'd forgotten. The pain had faded into background noise. He stepped inside, sat on the edge of the bed, gestured for her to sit beside him. She did. Gently, carefully, Dominic took her wrist in his hands. His fingers were warm, calloused. He opened the kit, pulled out antiseptic and a wrap. This might sting. I'm fine. You're hurt. He met her eyes. That's not fine. He cleaned the bruise, wrapped it. His movements were precise, almost tender. Why are you doing this? Mara asked. Her voice cracked.
I'm nobody. I'm.
Stop. His grip tightened, not painful but firm. Stop saying that. It's true. It's not. He set the kit aside. His hands stayed on hers. You think because you're not a size 2, because you work for a living, because you don't wear diamonds, that you're invisible. But I saw you the second you walked into that ballroom. Her throat tightened. Tears burned behind her eyes. You don't know me. Not yet. His thumb traced the edge of the bandage. But I'm going to. She pulled her hand back, stood, crossed her arms. This doesn't make sense. You're Dominic Rossi. You run half the city. I've heard the stories. You're dangerous. I am. Then why? Because men like Marcus Hale think women like you are disposable. His voice went cold, hard, and I've spent my entire life making sure men like him learn otherwise. Silence stretched between them. What happens tomorrow? Mara whispered. Tomorrow you decide. Dominic stood, walked to the door, stopped, looked back. You can go back to your life. Pretend tonight didn't happen. I'll make sure Hale never comes near you again. Or, his eyes burned, or you stay, and I show you what it's like to be seen, protected, valued. Why me? Because when he grabbed you, you didn't scream. You didn't cry. You survived. Dominic's voice dropped to a murmur. I don't want survivors, Mara. I want warriors. And you're already halfway there. He left. The door clicked shut. Mara sat on the bed. Her hands shook. Her heart raced. She looked at her reflection in the mirror across the room. For the first time in years, she didn't see someone too big, too plain, too forgettable. She saw someone Dominic Rossi had pulled onto his lap in front of the most powerful people in New York. She saw someone worth protecting. Morning came too fast. Mara woke to sunlight streaming through tall windows. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then memory crashed back. She dressed quickly, found her way downstairs. Dominic sat at a long dining table reading a newspaper. Coffee steamed in a porcelain cup. He looked up. Good morning. Morning. Her voice was hoarse. See, eat. She sat. Ate. The silence was strange. Not uncomfortable, but charged. Finally, Dominic folded the paper. Hale's been handled. Mara's fork froze. What does that mean? It means his firm dropped him this morning. His assets are frozen pending a federal investigation into insider trading. He's currently sitting in a holding cell downtown. Her blood went cold. You did that? Overnight? I made some calls. Dominic's tone was casual. He hurt you. There are consequences. She set the fork down. Her hands trembled. I didn't ask you to. I know. He leaned forward. But I don't need permission to protect what's mine. I'm not. Aren't you? His eyes locked onto hers. You stayed. She had. She didn't know why. Or maybe she did, and she was too terrified to admit it. What do you want from me? She whispered. Everything. His answer was immediate. Absolute. I want you in my home. At my table. By my side. I want every man who looks at you to know you're untouchable. I want you to stop shrinking. I want you to take up space. I want... He stopped. Took a breath. When he spoke again, his voice was quieter. I want you to let me see you. The way I did last night. Tears stung her eyes. You don't even know me. Then let me learn. 3 weeks later, Mara stood in Dominic's office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. He sat behind a mahogany desk, reviewing contracts. She was supposed to be organizing files. Instead, she was watching him. You're staring, he said without looking up. You're distracting. He smiled. Rare. Devastating. She'd moved into the estate a week ago. Not because he demanded it. Because she chose it. Every day he gave her space. Every night he gave her safety. He didn't rush. Didn't push. He just saw her. And slowly, terrifyingly, she was letting him. A knock at the door. One of Dominic's men entered. Sir, the Castellano meeting is in 10. Dominic nodded. The man left. He stood. Adjusted his cufflinks, walked toward the door, then stopped, turned back. Come with me. Mara blinked. To a meeting? Yes. I'm not part of your business. You're part of my life. He crossed back to her, cupped her face in his hands. His thumb traced her cheekbone. That makes you part of everything. Her breath caught. Dominic, I'm not asking you to run the family, Mara. I'm asking you to sit beside me while I do. There's a difference. She searched his eyes. Found no lie. No manipulation. Just certainty. Okay. The meeting room was filled with men in expensive suits. They looked up when Dominic entered. Their eyes widened when they saw Mara beside him. He pulled out a chair.
Gestured for her to sit.
She did. Then Dominic sat beside her. Not across. Beside. His hand rested on the back of her chair. The men exchanged glances. Confused. Cautious. Gentlemen, Dominic said calmly, this is Mara Chun. She's with me. Treat her as you would treat me. Any questions? Silence. Good. Let's begin. Mara sat through the entire meeting. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Her presence alone sent the message. She wasn't invisible anymore. That night, Dominic found her on the terrace. The city glittered below. You did well today, he said. I didn't do anything. You existed in a room full of dangerous men without flinching. That's everything. He stepped closer. You're stronger than you think, Mara. She turned to face him. Why me, Dominic? Really? He was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. Because the world taught you that you were too much. Too big. Too loud. Too visible. And you believed it. You made yourself small. His hand cupped her jaw. But I don't want small, Mara. I want all of you. Every inch. Every thought. Every fear. Every dream. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I see you, he whispered. I've always seen you. She kissed him. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate. Hungry. Real. He kissed her back like she was oxygen. When they finally pulled apart, breathless, Dominic rested his forehead against hers. Stay, he murmured. I'm not going anywhere. Good. His arms wrapped around her waist. Solid. Unbreakable. Because I don't let go of what's mine. And for the first time in her life, Mara didn't want to disappear. She wanted to be seen. Mara thought sitting on Dominic's lap at the gala was the moment that changed everything. She was wrong. 3 days later, a letter arrived at the estate. No return address. No name. Just a single photograph, Mara, walking out of the Whitmore estate the night of the gala. On the back, 2 words written in red ink. She's next. Because claiming a woman in Dominic Rossi's world doesn't just make her a queen. It makes her a target. And the person who sent that photo has been waiting years to destroy the Rossi family from the inside. Now they've found the perfect weapon. The woman Dominic can't afford to lose. Click the video on your screen right now to see what Dominic does when someone threatens his queen, and watch Mara discover she's not just a target. She's the hunter.